Hello, scientists. In this unit, you will be learning about solids and liquids. What is a solid? A solid is something that takes up space and has a shape. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be gathering objects from my living room and placing it on this table. Together, we're going to determine if the objects that I place on this table are solids or not a solid. Let's get started. So I have a letter tile that I found in my living room, a tissue box, a building brick, a toy car, and a container filled with water. All right, so we are going to decide whether the items that I found in my living room are a solid or not a solid. I'm going to hold up one item at a time, and I'm going to move it around to see if it changes its shape. And I want to see if it takes up space. If it takes up space and keeps its shape, then it is a solid, and you can give a thumbs up. If it doesn't take up space, or if it changes shape, then it's not a solid, and you can give a thumbs down. All right, let's get started. So the first thing I found in my living room was this letter tile. It's a square, and it took up space on the table when I placed it down here. Now I'm going to move where I put this letter tile. I'm moving it onto the couch, and it's still a square shape. It hasn't changed. And it's taking up some space on this couch. I'm going to move it one more time. Now it's on my entertainment center. It's still a square, and it's still taking up space. So now, with all that information about this letter tile that I shared with you, I want you to decide if you think the letter tile is a solid or not a solid. What do you think? Thumbs up if you think it's a solid, thumbs down if you think it's not a solid. If you said the letter tile is a solid, you're correct. It takes up space and it has a shape. It doesn't matter where I move it to. Let's try the next object that I found. This tissue box. When I place it on this table, it's taking up space, and this tissue box does have a shape. I'm just going to turn it around so you can see what it looks like at all sides. All right, I'm going to move this tissue box, and I'm going to watch it carefully to see if it changes its shape. And I want to know if it still takes up space. So it's going on the couch. It's keeping its shape, and it's taking up the space of the couch. I'm going to move it one more time. Now it's on the entertainment center. It is keeping its shape, and it is taking up space. So here's my question to you. Is this tissue box a solid or not a solid? What do you think? If you said that the tissue box is a solid, you're correct. It does take up space, and it does keep its shape. It doesn't matter where I move this to. The next object I found was a building brick. When I place it on this table, it's definitely taking up the space on this table, and it's keeping its shape. I'm going to move it to see if it keeps its shape and takes up space. Now it's on the couch. It's taking up some space of the couch, and it's keeping its shape. I'm going to move it one more time. All right, it's on the entertainment center, and it's keeping its shape, and it's taking up some space on this entertainment center. Now I want you to decide, is a building block a solid or not a solid, using the information you just heard. If you said that this building block You're correct. It does take up space and it keeps its shape. Let's move on. This was the next item that I found in my living room, a toy car. Here it is on the table. This is the shape of the toy car, and it is taking up some space. Now I'm going to move it. Let's see if we notice any changes. Well, it's still taking up space, and it's still keeping its shape. I'm going to move it one more time. Now it's on the entertainment center, and it is taking up space, and it's keeping its shape. So I have a question for you. Is the toy car a solid or not a solid? If you said that the toy car is a solid, you're correct. This toy car takes up space and keeps its shape, no matter where I moved it to. All right, let's take a look at the last thing I found in my living room. It's the water in this container that I'm curious about. I want to know if the water in this container keeps its shape if I move it into something else, and if it takes up space. I can tell that the water in this container takes up the space of this container. I'm going to pour the water into a different container. This container is narrower at the bottom and wider at the top. It is taller than this container. So I'm curious if the shape of this water is going to change. Let's see. All right. All the water is in the other container now, and it definitely has changed its shape because the shape of the containers are a bit different here. It still is taking space up. So I have a question for you. Is the water in this container a solid or not a solid? What do you think? If you said not a solid, you're correct. This water is not a solid. It changes its shape. It changes the shape of whatever container it goes into. I hope you enjoyed this exploration. You can try this exploration at home with a grown-up at home. See if you can find some solids wherever you're at. And ask yourself, does it keep its shape? And does it take up space? No matter where you put that object that you found. I hope you had fun. Have a great day.